Hello and welcome to Please Me. Last week, Darlene Green was on the show talking about how stem cell activation technology can help repair our DNA, reverse aging, and improve our brain health, and of course, our sex lives. I urge you to go listen and learn with me. This podcast is intended for mature audiences. Eve is a licensed physical therapist who is on a mission to destigmatize conversations about sex. In her PT practice, Eve treats conditions related to sexual health. Please unwind, surrender, and bask in the pleasure of Please Me. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I am so excited to welcome Prince to the show. Prince is my personal trainer, and he owns a gym called 9 Rounds, and he is the most incredible trainer. He also has a organization called Marvelous Motivations. Here it is on his shirt, and it's in St. Lucia, and he's going to tell you all about it because he knows a lot more about it than I do. So without further ado, I am going to welcome Prince to the show. I am so happy that you joined me today. Thank you so much for coming. Today is the first episode, and it's actually the last episode of the season, but the first episode that I'm ever having a live guest. So it's really exciting to have him here tonight. And so today we're going to play a game called Did You Know? But before we do that, I want Prince to tell us a little bit about himself. So tell me all about you, Prince. I want to know how you ended up here in Wellington, Florida, and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It's an honor to be here. Hello, viewers. Any questions? I'm here. But as she said, Evelyn said, a little bit about myself. I'm from the Caribbean, a small island called St. Lucia. St. Lucia, way south of the Caribbean. And what brought me to the U.S. was education. So I came in for school. The game plan was to come here, study, get my master's, and go back to the Caribbean. But that doesn't happen that way. The universe, life, always works somehow, curves our path. But it was positive. It was all positive. So after my schooling, I ended up staying in Florida. I started in South Carolina. That was my first place I went to school. Then I transferred because it was too cold. I'm from the Caribbean, so I like hot places. So I moved down to Miami.
This is the state to be.
Yes. Got my master's in hotel tourism management. I work in a free resort. And connections started happening, and business opportunities opened up here in Florida. Then I felt like I had to stay here a bit longer. I was a member at 9 Round Kickboxing Fitness. So
oh, wow. Okay.
Then the owner and I became friends. And he's like, Prince, do you want to buy? And fitness has always been my passion. So I ended up being the leadership, took owner of the 9 Round Kickboxing Fitness. And that's a little summary of how I ended up being here in South Florida and why I'm still here. Then the Marvelous Motivations.
Yes, I want to hear about that too.
So it's been many years in the making. When I was young, I always told myself that if I ever could make good in the world or impact people, that I'll give back in a meaningful, powerful way. And my drive was always food. Because I grew up in a little island in the jungle, and we grew up nothing too crazy. I mean, we were happy, but not, we walked everywhere, no vehicles, nothing. So typical island lifestyle, cold water, outside toilet, just humble beginnings. And end up doing well in the US. And I started with food banks, food drives, and stuff like that. But I still felt empty. I didn't feel like I was doing enough. And then I clicked. I'm like, a school. I'm like, but it can't be a school. So that's where the center idea came in, where kids or adults, they come in at no cost. Especially the kids, they come in. We work at schools in St. Lucia. They come in with a little martial arts, after school programs, fitness, mind skills, life skills. So I won't bore you out, but that's where, because the crime is not too bad in St. Lucia, but there's always crime everywhere in the world, no matter where you go. and how could I help keep the kids off the street? How can we do more to engage them? And the reason why I targeted kids, because that's where your mind starts to develop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 12 years old, you go left or right, and how you influence really help who you become eventually. So that's where the idea started to help the kids, and they come in to learn. And we have, again, the program changes all the time, whether they learn music or whether it's dance. That's a big one, the dance. But it's fun. It's a fun place where they call home, and they feel safe to come to. So that's where it started.
I love that you mentioned that because, anytime people walk into the gym, Prince always gives a big welcome and he often says, welcome home, and I always did feel like the gym was also my home because he just gave me such a warm welcome and made me feel at home. And I love Prince for being such an incredible motivator. He really does hone in on what each person's motivation is, and he remembers it, and he motivates people in different ways. And I always appreciate that because I'm always so motivated by him when I do go to the gym. So definitely check out 9 Rounds if you're in the area.
Definitely, 9 Round Kickboxing Fitness. It's all over the world. It could be one near you. The only reason I'm into 9 Round because I believe it adds value to people and it's convenient because there's no class times. So from the time the gym is open from 5 a.m. till 12, in between that time, you could come in at your own time and you get a workout. And as Evelyn said, we really try to customize based on your fitness goals, based on your capabilities. It's not like one size fit all. And we modify and we base what motivates you, what motivates the music to the sound, to the light, to the heat, if it's too hot, if it's too cold. So we really
He's laughing at me because I'm always hot.
so we really pay attention to you, and it's like the price of paying a personal trainer, but you only pay that for the month, not the price of personal trainer. And the value is just amazing. And as Emily said, the environment we created was a family, fun, safe place for adults to come in and really stay healthy and stay whatever they're looking for in their health journey. So that's a little something about 9 Round. So there could be one near you.
Absolutely. I love the gym. I really recommend it. So now we're going to play a little game called Did You Know? And this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about the different episodes that I had this season. And there's so many amazing episodes. And we're going to just be touching upon different facts and different things that I talked about throughout the season. And Prince and I are going to just chat about each one of those things. So the first question that I have for him has nothing to do with any of the seasons, but I love his name because it is my favorite recording artist. Prince is definitely my favorite recording artist. So do you love Prince too? I know you've played him at the gym.
I do. Growing up, one of my favorite songs, probably Little Red Corvette.
Oh, I like that one too.
That's okay. A good one.
Yes.
But I love his music, his style, he was unique. So I love creativity.
Yes.
I love to be unique, like embrace who you are. Because we all born to be something different in this world. And Prince was unique, and I respect that about him. He was different, but he stood, that's what he felt. He expressed that. And I always respect how, as long as you don't hurt anybody, that's the biggest thing in life.
Absolutely. And what I love about Prince is that his music is so sexy. If you have not listened to Prince's songs, you need to go back and check them out because he has a whole lot of sexy songs that are great for sexy time. One of my favorites is International Lover. So check that song out. I'm going to talk about episode 11. And I had Renee Moon on the show in episode 11. And she is an author of a book that is a compilation book about women's fantasies. And it was a very interesting conversation with her. She talked about a lot of different fantasies that women have from all around the world. And I asked her, what were some of the common themes? So can you take a guess as to what some of the common themes were among women's fantasies?
I would say what position would be favorite positions? Like,
Well, it was like an actual, like, full blown fantasy.
hmm, like having a red room.
Okay. Like a kinky room, like a kink room?
Yes.
Okay. That.
With the red room where you have the special bed, the swing, then there's drawers full of toys. And
Okay. That sounds very.
so I call it the red room. So
Yes.
yes.
That is definitely a nice. That sounds like a great fantasy. I am going to talk about a few of the things that Renee talked about, and one of the things that women often fantasize about is having a threesome. And that is a really common fantasy among women and men, wouldn't you say?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's spoke about.
Yeah, it's a pretty common fantasy. And then there was another one that she mentioned, which I was surprised by, the rape fantasy. So many women, fantasize about being raped. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to get raped. It's a fantasy. So it doesn't mean that it's got to be reality. But, sometimes women do like to make their fantasies come true. And if you're in a relationship with somebody that, wants to help you to make that fantasy come true, then hey, why not, right? So, but that was a very common fantasy, the rape fantasy.
Interesting.
Right?
Very interesting.
Yes.
I guess you want to feel like a dominant power just taking over.
Yes, absolutely. And, dominance and, submission is such a common fantasy. And it's also something common that a lot of people just engage in naturally in, when they're having sex. So that makes sense to me that, dominance would definitely be part of, women's fantasies. And, BDSM is something that's growing and becoming much more in the mainstream. 45% of Americans consider themselves kinky. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good number that's a good statistic.
It's a lot.
That's very high.
It's a lot. So,
almost half.
Yeah, almost half. So, the BDSM world is growing and growing by leaps and bounds. There's another statistic that I want to bring up now.
Uh-huh.
And this one is one that I talk about all the time. I bring it up all the time because I think it's so important for people to understand that only 3 to 5% of women can climax from penetration alone. Did you know that?
3 to 5%
of women can climax from penetration alone.
That's very low.
That's very low, right? So 95% of women need clitoral stimulation in order to climax.
Okay, man, you listening? Because I'm taking notes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because, we do need external stimulation. And, oftentimes people don't know about that. So there exists something called the orgasm gap, which I'm going to talk about later. But, this is an important thing for people to understand because, if you don't understand the orgasm gap and what makes it so, you're never going to close that orgasm gap for yourself. So that's something that I always love to talk about.
Now, as a partner, let's say you're my partner, and do you communicate that to your partner? Could be he, she, whatever. Say, hey, I need extra.
Yes, so that is the whole point.
Because some people don't communicate, they fake it, and the husband is like, yeah, or whoever it is. Yes, and the woman is like, oh, God, help me.
Exactly. No.
So I believe the partner, it could be whoever it is, has to be more transparent. So that's how your partner going to learn and say, hey, let's work together. Like, this is what works for me.
Absolutely, because in a relationship, you guys are a team, right? You're a team and you want to pleasure each other. And so, whatever it takes for the, woman to climax or the man to climax, having that open communication, dropping that shame, dropping those societal norms that are holding us back from expressing what we really want in the bedroom is so important so that we can really get our needs met. And so I often talk about communicating with our partners so that we can let them know exactly what feels good so that we do get our needs met.
Very, very important. Communication.
Yeah, communication is key. And you mentioned faking it, right?
Yes, because I've heard stories and I'm like...
Yeah. Well, 80% of women say that they've faked orgasm. 80% of women. And that's a huge statistic.
It is.
And
It's sad.
It's shameful, really, because what you're teaching the person that you're faking it with is that whatever they did turns you on. And so they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over because they think that that's what you like. And guess what? It's what you don't like. It's exactly what you don't want them to do again.
True. It's like rewarding bad behavior.
Exactly.
I mean, the child did something not correct. Hey, here's an A+. But no, that was an incorrect paper. You had to write the correct paper.
Exactly. So I love talking about, how we can communicate better with our partners so that doesn't happen for us. Because, it's really a travesty if you're faking orgasm. And, I recently had a client that I think I might have mentioned this in another episode. And my client is a female, and I'm treating her, for sexual function. And I asked her how her sex life had been going since we started our sessions. And she said, "Oh, well, my husband is climaxing now much more frequently and sooner than before." And I said, "Oh, why do you think that is?" And she said, "Well, my muscles are stronger and my pelvic floor is stronger. And, I'm a physical therapist, so I treat sexual health conditions." And so she was telling me how, she was able to get her husband to climax faster because she squeezes her vaginal walls. And then she said, and then it's like, I got it over with, and I was crushed when she said that, because that was not the point. The point is so that she could feel pleasure too, because we all deserve pleasure. So tapping into what makes you feel pleasure is really key, and having that communication. And so during that session, I really spoke to her a lot about some ideas that she could implement to, try to get her pleasure needs met, not just her husband's, and she was really thankful that I gave her that, my spiel, because, she doesn't have a lot of people that she talks to about that sort of thing. And so it was really helpful for her.
So she fixed it, and hopefully now she feels happy and more satisfied with the sex life.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's mindset is in the sex mood at every moment of every day. So, oh, Chloe, stop it. My cat is attacking me over here.
Like, I want to kiss you.
Oh, you're so cute, my little pussy cat. Okay, she's attacking me. All right, so, I mean, the whole idea is for both partners to get their pleasure needs met. And if your mind is not in it, or your libido is different than your partner's, having those discussions about that is really key. And then setting aside time where both of you can have, the time to really get into that mindset. Because if your mind isn't in it, you're not going to enjoy, the sex as much as you would if you were really mentally in the moment.
I agree, definitely. Because it's all about being present.
Right, exactly.
So when you're present, no matter what you do, whether it's watching something or watching your whatever, that when you're present, you connect with that person. It's like, it becomes so magical. It becomes so, the feeling that it's like, wow. And despite you have sex 5 days a week, it's just feels so good, so different every time. You're so present, and you still get goosebumps, and it's magical. So be present.
Yes. And so we talk about that a lot, actually. We talk about how to be present. And in episode 7 with Nate Zalesnik, we talked about how to implement breathing exercises in order to really be present and in the moment with your partner. And it's something that you can do by yourself or with another partner. And he talked about like the perfect breath. And so that was a really fun episode. So you should definitely check that out. Do you ever, recommend specific breathing exercises when you're, training, or is it
definitely? Yeah. Because breathing air, it's very important to power, to movement, to flow. Okay, if you don't control it, it's like it becomes a circus. Your body's working harder, you out of place, you out of rhythm, you out of tune. So when working out, and I believe sex is like working out, like personally, like
It is.
so I sweat, like so. I mean, you gotta pay attention to your breathing and okay, control breaths based on what you're doing. When you're going down, whatever, like the breath and so when you sit in positions, if you go in rapid thing, like whatever, your girl, that you know when to come in, like breathe in and breathe out. So it's very, very important.
Yeah, breathing is so key. Very, very key. And holding your breath can, kind of stop that energy flow. So
Correct.
continuing to breathe throughout is really important. And on episode 7, we talked about that quite a bit. And another thing that you mentioned before
Yes.
was having conversations with your partner. And in episode 4 with Juliet and Kiara, we talked about aftercare. Are you familiar with that concept?
Enlighten me.
Okay, so aftercare is the sort of what could I call it? The like deliciousness of the after sex, right? The afterglow of your sexual activity, where you're done with your having fun, but you are sort of just basking in the moment and enjoying each other's presence. And oftentimes, aftercare is actually a BDSM concept. And that's when, the person who is dominating the submissive person, takes care of their submissive, and they bring them water, or they may clean them up, or they do things for them that help take care of them and help them feel safe. And so aftercare is such an amazing time to talk about what you enjoyed during that sexual activity, because you want to encourage your partner to do those things that you enjoyed again and again. And, not so much focusing on the negative, but always focusing on the positive. So you're giving positive reinforcement so that you don't have to do that, faking, because faking is not a good idea.
I agree. Because the women is still, in their mind, they're like, man, when's my turn going to be? Or they go to the bathroom and they take care of themselves. So there's different ways. So
yes, and it's always a good idea to like use the bathroom after you have sex so you don't get a UTI, and certain things that you want to do after having sex. But cuddling, talking to your partner, maybe getting some water or some snacks.
Definitely, aftercare. I love that term, and for sure, I believe it's romantic where the guy, whoever is dominant, gets a wet cloth or whatever, and a cold towel, whatever they may need, and water or something. I like to give like hydration, like what is coconut water. Anything that has
coconut water. I love coconut water.
Anything that has electrolytes because they just had a killer workout or whatever.
Absolutely. You got to make sure you don't cramp up after your session.
Then I like to just relax and just cozy and smile and just caress my partner when I'm finished.
I like that. Caressing is always nice. And, cuddles are always so nice after having sex and connecting with your partner in that way. It's a beautiful thing.
I've read stories where sometimes the climax, because people come, that they shower right away. Like, no time to waste. Just boom. No time to just relax and talk. They just straight to the shower. It's like, okay.
It's over, yeah.
It's over.
It's kind of like you're really missing out on a really amazing part of sexual activity if you jump out of bed and like disconnect immediately. Because after your climax, you're so like your emotions are so heightened and your sensations are so heightened that it's a perfect opportunity to really connect with each other. So yeah, not speeding through all of that and jumping in the shower and leaving, enjoy the moment.
Take a deep breath and calm down and just wow.
Yes.
You say thank you. You look beautiful.
Why thank you. Oh, he was talking about hypothetical. All right. So yes, aftercare, definitely. And speaking of heightening sensations, on episode 1, Mizzy Bender was on the show, and she is a lifestyle expert, and she does different parties, lifestyle parties up and down the East Coast, and she travels all around, and she also has a boutique. And she is a lifestyle expert, and she talked to me about medical marijuana and how it heightens your sexual pleasure. So, have you ever experienced that?
Not if medical marijuana, never experienced. I have tried marijuana in different forms. So I've cooked with it and I drink the tea.
What is coke to fit?
I've cooked. Part of my accent.
Cooked.
I've cooked food, so my cooking skills. So
Okay.
I use medical, like just regular marijuana. Yeah,
Oh, you put it in your food?
My food.
Oh, wow.
It gives a nice flavor, aromatics, and yeah.
Oh, wow.
And herb tea.
Yes.
In the Caribbean, we say herb. The H is pronounced.
Right. Okay.
And, but I never had that effect. As a fitness personality and a fitness leader, that when I work out or when I train, I believe it really prepares you for the bed, to have a great sex. Because some sex could be, it's a workout, as I said.
It is a workout,
so
for sure.
The better you are healthy, the better you are more flexible, the better you can be more creative, you can be. So that I've experienced with. I know how to lift certain positions. I know how to be creative in that way. But to say the medical marijuana on me, no, I never had. No feeling. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alcohol does things to me, but no, it's just me knowing different angles and positions and.
Yes, switching it up is always a lot of fun.
So that's my specialty.
Oh, he's got a specialty. Ladies, take note. Oh my goodness. Woo! So we talk about that in episode 1, how medical marijuana can heighten your sexual pleasure, and I concur that it really does heighten your sensations. So if you've never tried it before, give it a shot. There's gummies, you don't have to smoke it. There's a lot of different ways, tinctures, etc. But it's something to try, and heightening your sensation can only be a good thing. So it's all pleasure, it's all delicious. You mentioned herbs, or herbs, as you would pronounce it in St. Lucia, right? So I had on episode 2, I had Adrienne Grayson on the show, and she is a master herbalist. And she talked about all sorts of herbs that are, great for boosting your libido.
Definitely.
And so do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, because from the Caribbean, and mostly naturalist people, we don't really process stuff. We grow our herbs out first, vegetables. So everything is naturally grown. And we do have natural remedies that help boost your sex, your energy, your erection for guys and for females. So there's different herbs that they still use today. And there's a rum actually called spice rum. It's a local.
Oh, really?
It's a local homemade remedy.
Yeah.
They have all types of herbs in the bottle, and they put rum over it so that it soaks for months. So it's really
concentrated.
Yes.
Okay.
And people add grenadine syrup just to
make it yummier.
Yeah, because if it's 100%. Yeah. But you could feel like you could feel the difference.
Amazing.
Some guys call it the natural Viagra.
The natural Viagra. And there are so many natural Viagras that, our doctors are not prescribing us. They're just giving us Viagra and, Cialis and whatever.
Correct.
And that helps for a time, but if you have an issue, it's often because your blood vessels are blocked, right? So over time, those blood vessels get even more blocked, and then Viagra no longer works, and Cialis no longer works, and then what? So what can you do to naturally boost your erections, right? The hardness of your erections, and that is something that I talk a lot about in my physical therapy practice, because I treat sexual health conditions. And so, there's a gold standard treatment called acoustic wave therapy, and I treat patients doing this treatment on them. And what it does is it increases blood flow to the penis and surrounding tissue so that you get lots of blood flow to the penis. And over time, over several different sessions, more and more capillaries form, which are the small blood vessels in your body. And so if you're creating more capillary formation and you're unblocking your blood vessels, you're going to have tons more blood flow to the area. And this is also used on women for decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness. And those conditions are also caused by decreased blood flow. The clitoris is the woman's equivalent of the penis, and it's almost
Correct, yeah.
almost as large as the penis, but it's internal as
Right.
opposed to external. So, we also need to get, quote unquote, a hard on, right? To get turned on and be ready for sex. And so blood flow is so important. Have you ever heard of this treatment before? Acoustic wave therapy?
I have, but I'm not specialized in it. But
Right,
yeah.
right. So it's an amazing treatment. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, we talked a lot about blood flow in episode 2 with Adriana Grayson, and we talked about different herbs. She talked about Tongat Ali as being something that really strengthens the male, virility.
Correct. And in the Caribbean, sorry to cut you short, the main herb in there is called a bois bade. It's a French word because we speak French in St. Lucia Creole. So the bois bade in there is the main ingredient that gets you excited and ready to go.
I need to know what that is in
bois
English.
Bade.
Okay,
yeah, I'll try and get you the English name.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to know all about what that is. And I always like to talk about watermelon, because watermelon has natural citrulline, and citrulline, what it does in the body is it opens up the blood vessels. So citrulline is a natural Viagra, and watermelon contains it. So if you want to give yourself harder erections, I always say 4 cups of watermelon per day.
This is what I'm going to ask you, because some guys will go there and eat like a whole, because there's something called too much watermelon, right?
Right. Well, what's really great about watermelon is that it's so full of water too, so you're also hydrating at the same time that you're eating it. But it has citrulline, and so citrulline, if you have 4 cups of watermelon every single day, that's the red watermelon. Okay,
4 cups.
That would be like the quote unquote dosage that you would need to see a difference. And over the course of a week, if you do this watermelon challenge, you're going to see a big difference in your erection size and hardness. So I definitely, recommend that. And if you do try it out there, I would love to hear your results. I've heard from lots of people who've had amazing results. And I would love to hear if you give it a try. Also, I just want to mention that there's such thing as yellow watermelon. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, so I actually have heard of it.
It's like almost white.
But I feel like I never ever see it in the store. I want to buy some because yellow watermelon has double the amount of citrulline in it. So
interesting.
If you find the yellow watermelon, you only need to have 2 cups of it every day, and try that for a week and see how that works for you.
And it's kind of seasonal in some places, right? So if it's out of season, tough luck. Wait till it's in season.
True. But in the United States, we get products from shipped from all over the world, so you can usually find watermelon, even though watermelon's not really in season right now. They have them at Walmart where you can buy an entire watermelon, like I saw the other day.
Okay.
So you could usually find watermelon. You might have to look in different stores because we get shipped from all over the world. It's always best to eat locally, but for something like the watermelon challenge, just get your watermelon from
me up.
from whatever country, right?
Sign me up.
All right, good. Oh, I can't wait to hear what your results are after
Absolutely.
a week. Yes, so definitely the watermelon challenge. So I just noticed that the dog and the cat are right here with us. They're so cute. So this was an interesting episode. On episode 3, I had Edward Miskey on the show, and he wrote a book about his experience with cancer. And did you know that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime?
It's very high. It's like kind of destined to happen.
It's a shock.
Yeah, like
to
one
hear
in three
those,
and one in two.
yeah,
That's like 50-50.
practically. It's so scary. Cancer is up by over 70%. And, there are so many toxins in our environments. And in order for us to kind of protect ourselves, we need to really look at, decreasing those toxins in our environments. And plastics are one of those toxins. And it's really scary. I mean, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men.
That's a
So no matter what,
sad statistic.
it is a very sad statistic. No matter what, whether it's you or someone every one of us will be affected by cancer in some way. So, I was talking to Edward about his experience, and it was interesting because he used sex to cope. When you're going through cancer treatments, you feel like everything is so out of your control. You go to doctor's appointments and they push you from one room to the other, and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're following directions, but you really are so out of control. And, he used sex to cope, and to help him feel good about himself and to feel pleasure during this really, unpleasurable experience. So,
Wow.
sex can be used for a lot of different things.
Definitely. Because I believe the body, we're naturally created for sex, and it's part of life, and it helps balances many things. Because when I have sex, I feel amazing after. I feel like I can walk in the air, and mentally, it's just wow. Like there's clarity, there's that. Like the body becomes more relaxed. It's like yoga, but better than yoga. So there's that feeling that like you just feel good.
All those feel good chemicals are released,
Yeah.
after you have an orgasm.
It's like having dopamine,
yes,
endorphins.
All of that is released, and you feel so great, and that is really healing.
It is.
I mean, you have to like have happiness in your life, and sex is one of those ways to like really connect with happiness pretty directly, in my opinion.
And I believe sex helps reduces stress. And
yes.
I believe stress is one of the contributors to cancer, because the pressure we put on the body, it just destroys the body in so many ways that doctors, we can't understand what's happening. So the more stress-free we are, the better it is for us for a long life. So my personal belief, but yeah, I mean,
it's your personal belief, but is actually absolutely true. I mean, sex does decrease stress. It also helps with helping you if you have problems with sleep, insomnia. It helps you to sleep better. I mean, there's so many benefits. So definitely stress relief is one of those benefits for sure.
Love it.
And yes, cancer, stress is one of those risk factors. So decreasing your stress is going to help you to decrease your prevalence or your, possibility of getting cancer. So, pleasure yourself.
Yes.
Whether it be with, a partner or yourself, because self-pleasure is just as important. And learning your body is just as important, because if you don't know your body, you can't communicate with your partner what feels good to you. And so you're not going to be able to close that orgasm gap for yourself that, we talked about earlier. So, yes. So, Prince, have you ever heard of revenge porn?
Not like never been asked about it, but I can imagine what it is.
Yeah, so I had never really heard about it. I thought it was like some porn genre. And I had on episode 10, I had Zemi Wild on the show, and he is so incredible. He was such a fun guest. And he explained to me that revenge porn is actually when you have sex with your partner and you film it or you take pictures of it, and then you and your partner break up, and your partner takes those pictures or those videos and posts them on these sites that are specifically dedicated to revenge porn. So that is what revenge porn is.
So there's a website called Revenge Porn.
I mean, I don't know if it's called revenge porn, but there are websites dedicated to taking these videos and putting them out there. And oftentimes it's, people are innocently being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And this is a crime. I mean,
I was about to say, like,
it is a crime.
It's
to
sad
take,
that
yeah,
anybody would do that to you, because it is crime and it's like no consent, and so it's more than revenge. It's like a cruel thing to do.
Absolutely. It's, it's revenge,
Correct.
it's basically
No,
revenge, but
it's
you're putting it out there into the world, and now you can't take that back. Once that pornography is out there in the world, no matter what, even if they take it down later on, it's been out there, and it's very scary. I mean, I just warn people that, if they want to take pictures or take videos, that you do it on your own phone, and you don't share that with other people.
you truly, truly, truly trust that partner, that
Right.
person you with.
But, in every relationship, the other person at some point, you really truly trust them, right? So,
Correct. But at the end of the day, I think, like, because some people are like, I would never think Charles would do that. I don't think Shaquilla will do this. I would never think Nancy would do that. Yeah, so it's true. So, but you can't live in fear at the same time and always think about back of your head that could happen.
Right.
But again, if that's something that you love doing, it's okay. Like, if you love being recorded, like, so.
I'm not saying that there is absolutely anything wrong with pornography or with filming yourself if that's your jam. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what turns you on, you like to watch it later on, by all means, but always understand that this exists, and, be careful to protect yourself.
Very true.
Right?
Be smart. Be smart.
Right. Be smart, because, you just never know what, people can do to, try and hurt you later on down the road. And it's scary, So.
And, like, if they did that to you, and that means they're unhuman. It's not human-like to do such cruelty to somebody. But keep your head up if it happened to you. That life is about a circle, and what goes around comes around. Like, so.
That's true.
Live in full fear, and it could be a blessing. They're like, okay, this whatever, and it could be devastating at the moment, but eventually. So just trust that person. Without trust, we'll never live a fulfilled life. We'll never really fully. So don't be in fear. If you love recording, be careful, but enjoy.
Definitely. I agree with you. I do. So on episode 8, Lexi Silver was on. Lexi Silver is the media director of SDC.com, and SDC is a lifestyle and an ethical non-monogamy website, or a modern lifestyle website. And she was on the show, and she was talking about nudity and how a lot of people think nudity is sexual, and really nudity is just us without clothes, but it has nothing to do with sex. I mean, we came into the world nude. It's not inherently a sexual experience to be nude. And there's so much shame around being nude and about showing our bodies. And really, there is nothing shameful about our bodies. So what do you think about nudity?
I embrace it. I came from humble beginnings, and I grew up where I used to walk around in the jungle or in the community naked, like, till I was 6, 7. Like, I didn't care. Like, my mom, I was just. So as an adult, I never liked sleeping with clothes, so I'm always sleeping naked because I feel more free. My body breathes better. Like, I don't feel cut, like, closed up. So I think nudity. I love that being nude gives me that freedom, lets me become alive. Like, I'm not closed in, and it's based on culture. So I realize it's all cultural differences, because there's still tribes, like in Dominica in the Caribbean, a small nature island. We used to have them, but they're dead already. They still have the little pouch. They're in the little tribe, so they still walk around naked.
Right.
and they don't think anything different.
They're the indigenous people of
Correct.
the
Yeah.
islands.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're in a little village, and
Right.
yeah, some parts of Africa still have nude people, but it's not like what the modern society views it as. It's just the way of life, and that's how they were born as a culture. And some people, because of the culture, they really scarred them that it's gonna be nude. Or I'm saying respect people. Don't go out there walking the streets in New York City because it's a different culture.
Right.
So there's place and time for everything. But as you said, if you look at history and time, we were born on this earth with nothing. Or really, if you look at it, when we leave, we're gonna leave with nothing because it will just be dust and ashes. Um, so I think it's healthier to be nude, like in your private quarters in the US. But if you're in a tribe or in the Caribbean, there's nude beach, whatever. Like express yourself. It's how you feel. So
It is, and it's so liberating, honestly. So, if you ever find yourself at home alone, go down and make yourself a coffee and, enjoy your body. Your body needs to breathe, and it's actually really good for vaginal health too, to, like you said, sleep without underclothes on because your body like needs to like have air and breathe. So yeah, give it a try.
I think some people get scared of the judgment, the what if, like who's watching, like on the beach, public areas, or because like, oh, they're so like, no, like we all meant to be different, and if somebody want to judge you for having a scar or a tattoo or some natural birthmark, like I have another birthmark here, and if they judge you for that, that's different. They're not meant to be for you. Whoever is meant to be for you will embrace you, will love who you are, and make you feel like you're the most magical, most beautiful person in the world. So, and those who laugh about you, laugh in your face, or think you're not beautiful, let them go. They're not meant to be in your life. So, take that with you. Just remember, whoever is meant to be and cares about you will appreciate you for you. So,
Absolutely. And that brings us to like body positivity
yes,
and really like embracing who you are, loving your body in any shape or size, because we all deserve love and pleasure.
definitely. We all. It's part of life. We're social beings. We were born to be not antisocial beings. We social human beings. We were created to be warmth and cared for and loved and just be there for each other.
I agree 100%. So I just brought up, Lexi Silver and SDC.com, and I recommend that you check it out if you want to do a free trial membership. There is my code. You can use that code to get a free trial membership and check out the adult modern lifestyle, and I always say that, this lifestyle has more fun than like any other lifestyle. So definitely check it out. So on my show, I always ask this to all of my guests at the end of the show, and I can't wait to hear what your answer is.
Coming to an end already.
So
It's coming to an end already.
well, let's see. Hold on, let me just. So we've been talking for almost 50 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right.
yeah.
All right.
So we've been going for quite a while.
Okay.
And so I want to know what your favorite sex position is.
My favorite sex position. You got me smiling.
He's got all these visuals going on in his mind, I'm sure.
I do. As I said, I believe sex is an art. I like being creative. I love baptizing. I call it every room, area, and move around. So whether it's we start in the kitchen, then we go upstairs or to the room, shower, then the room, like I like to keep the flow going, but not rush it. But I don't want to get too crazy like you're thinking. But I'll answer your question. Now, my favorite position is where I grab the lady, have her wrap her hand around my neck, I grab her butt. She has her legs here, one leg there, and just holding her hand, just being passionate, and my hands are holding her butt, and it's my favorite position. And I'm standing, and I'm just
That is a power move. That is a BDE move, big dick energy move, right?
yes. Like being a fitness
you
person, just
you have to be really strong to do that position. But if you are with a partner who can lift you and you trust them, can be a lot of fun.
like I love being dominant. I love just
taking control.
yes.
Taking control. So Prince likes to be dominant, as you can see.
Correct.
So I want to know where my guests can find you. So where can my guests find you?
Absolutely. And by the way, the name Marvelous Motivations came from when I first came to the US. I've always used the word marvelous. My dad is from Ireland. And coming to the US, I was like, oh, people ask me at Publix or Walmart, wherever, how you doing? I'm like, marvelous. They would stop cashing things and look up like I was an alien. Then one of them asks, is everything okay? She goes, well, we never heard that word. And everybody is like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine, good, fine, good. So when I come in marvelous, it makes them stop and look up. They give me eye contact. So that's how I was like, wow, that's a powerful word. And I'm going to use that word as a company because it's different, it's catchy, and it's very meaningful. The meaning behind it is always trying the best, always, nothing is ever super marvelous. It's human nature. We do have problems. It's how we deal with it makes us great or ungreat. If we fall 5 times, wake up 6 times. So little things like that we teach kids in the center. And I learn every day from it. And I believe the more we teach things, we learn. The more we give, more blessings come. And I'm not doing things for many blessings. When you do from your heart, more powerful things happen. I'm a living testament. I said I came from humble beginnings with nothing. Outside showers, outside toilet, cold water. But yeah, you can reach me at on Instagram or Facebook, Marvelous Motivations. And my nickname on there is Mr. Marvelous. You don't want to know why they call me Mr. Marvelous.
You'll have to follow him to find out.
Correct. Also, we're on YouTube at Marvelous Motivations. Lots of health videos, health tips. Again, we're in the fitness business. We do from yoga, stretching. I do personal training. So go there, Marvelous Motivations on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook or YouTube. We have a channel there, Marvelous Motivations. And you can reach me there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out. He is an amazing trainer and I'm sure has lots of amazing educational information to share with you. So definitely check him out on YouTube, and you can also reach me on pleaseme.online. You can also call me on the OWL app. That's something new that I just started doing. And so you can reach me directly on the OWL app. It's a really fun app to, talk to people, and I am on that app.
And I give Evelyn full permission to, if you reach out to her, to reach out to me, we'll connect with you.
Absolutely. That's a good point. I will definitely connect people.
So call her, text her, hey, Mr. Marvelous, how can I reach him? I give her full permission to reach me.
Perfect. Awesome. I just want to mention too that right now I am running a promotion for my acoustic wave therapy, and I mentioned that before. And it is really truly the gold standard for treating erectile dysfunction and decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness. And so right now I'm doing buy 5 treatments, get the 6th free. And the reason why that is the magic number is because I recommend 6 visits in order to prevent any kind of issues and to really boost that erection potential for people who don't necessarily have an issue but want to prevent it. So, this is really great for, whether you have an issue or you don't have an issue, because it really does unblock all of the blockages in your penis, in your vaginal tissue, and the surrounding areas so that you have lots more blood flow. So, if you want to do that, make sure that you reach out to me on pleaseme.online. So definitely reach me on pleaseme.online and make sure that you go to my Instagram page, my Facebook page, or my TikTok page and follow me because I'm always talking about my newest episode every week. They come out on Wednesdays every week of the podcast. And I also have a YouTube channel where you can see the videos of the episodes if you want to view it instead of listen to it. And all of my episodes are also on pleaseme.online, whether it be audio or visual. So check that out. I just want to mention one more thing. This season, we did an orgasm revolution on February the 12th. And actually, today is February the 10th.
Correct.
And so we're doing this on February the 12th, which is in 2 days. However, this episode that we're filming right now is not going to come out until May. But the Orgasm Revolution starts in 2 days, and it is ongoing, and you can join the revolution at any time by going to pleaseme.online. And what the revolution is about is bringing awareness to the orgasm gap. And the orgasm gap is where men in coupled penetrative sex are getting their needs met 95% of the time, and women are only getting their needs met 65% of the time and, reaching climax. And there's a big gap. And so bringing awareness to this gap is really important so that each one of us can close our own orgasm gap one person at a time through education and through learning about what makes you feel good and how to communicate with other people about what makes you feel good. So definitely join the orgasm revolution. Go to pleaseme.online, get your t-shirt. Oh, I have it here. Get your t-shirt that says...
Get your merch.
Get your merch. I've got lots of merch. But this is one of the shirts. It says Orgasm Equality on it. And put it on and post a picture of yourself wearing it and join the revolution, okay? And, talk about why it's important to you and educate others, because through education, we can close our own orgasm gaps. So I just want to thank you, Prince, for being on the show tonight. This has been so much fun to have you here in person. And, thanks for coming.
Evelyn, thanks for having me. It's been a great experience. It's been very educational. It's been fun, and I look forward to learning and growing with your channel, and I'm proud of you. So thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
It's been amazing, and you're doing good. You're educating, and I love it. Like, there's always an audience for somebody, and you're doing what you're passionate about. So I always recognize that. Do things you love. If you don't love it, don't do it. So power to you for doing what you love.
Absolutely.
So same to you viewers. If you don't love something, don't do it. Save yourself 10 years, 5 years. Just do what you love. And I'm honored to be here. And thank you, Messi, gracias. Anybody out there, obrigado, whatever language, arigato. Thank you.
Of course, thank you. Thanks for being here. Until next time. Visit pleaseme.online to reach Eve or for more information on products to increase blood flow and overall health, for her curated list of her favorite toys, and for swag that shows that you are a big fan. Please consider supporting